Star Wars X-Wing Rogue Squadron Masquerade. It's second to the last story arc, so we're almost reaching the end of this amazing Star Wars Rogue Squadron comic book series. It consists of issues number 28, 29, 30, and 31 of Rogue Squadron comics, written by Michael Stackpole. I'm going to say this to get it out of my system. Once again, these videos are highlighting and summarizing, not really reviews. They're highlighting and summarizing different points and storylines from each story arc. It's not really critiquing, nothing like that. But I do have to get it out of my system. We're all family here, right? So the artwork, it's a little distracting. I'm trying to be very respectful towards the artist. Different style, and different styles aren't for everybody. There's people that may like this. I'm sure there are, obviously. There are individuals who love that, and hey, hugs, all power to you, beautiful. I'm glad that you really, really love this artwork if that's you. For me, it was a little distracting. The characters, some panels really didn't make sense, and some covers were jarring. Particularly one, and I'm not gonna get into it because it's not. I don't feel right doing that. But Chewbacca, yeah, Han Solo, I had to reread to make sure that was Han, and oh yeah, that is Han. I couldn't recognize him. But yeah, there's some that I did, and some panels I did enjoy. This is not talking about the writing at all. Michael Stackpole's on point. Just a heads up, as always. Yeah, some panels were pretty cool. Very different style. Definitely, the ships look different. Not totally that are unrecognizable. The characters sometimes are unrecognizable, but the ships, yeah, it's a Y-wing, it's a TIE, it's a X-wing. So, but the characters, yeah, I struggled a little bit with that, but the story, the writing kept me in, and that at the core is what matters. The panels that I enjoyed were the ones that were featuring Baron Fell. I thought it was a treat. Awesome seeing him behind the cockpit of an X-wing, and I'm glad this artist made him look super cool. So now that I got that out of my system and out of the way, once again, the story is what matters, really, at the core. So there's a lot of things that happen. This story doesn't have a huge impact as far as even towards the end, but it does set up things for future in the timeline, future events that happen. So Saint Pistage, as we know from the previous story arcs, he stepped in after the Emperor was destroyed, assuming command in Imperial Center on Coruscant, but he wants out. He wants to just live a peaceful life and out of there. So he strikes a deal. He wants to strike a deal with Princess Leia, and they have this discussion about that. So she's aware that this ruler currently the Imperials wants to step down and leave. And he's telling Princess Leia in confidence. And yes, he wants to do his thing in other worlds, but he says that he's not going to give any trouble to the New Republic, and at the same time, he's going to allow them to take Coruscant, which is a big deal, which we see this plays out in the X-Wing books, since they take place after these comics. Going along with that, Isani Isard appears again. One of my favorite villains, an important villain, post Return of the Jedi, pre-Vong, Imperial Remnant villain. She's just ruthless. If you read the X-Wing books, you know that it wasn't easy because of her for the New Republic to take over Coruscant. Yes, spoiler, they're able to conquer that. However, she does something truly, truly evil for them to be able to conquer and take over Coruscant. So she definitely didn't make it easy. A lot of people suffered. It was a big mess because of Isani Isard. But yes, she appears here. She's suspecting Saint Pistage of what he's doing, but her goal no matter at what cost, she wants to be the ruler. She wants to rule the Empire and make it rise up after this situation with the second Death Star, Darth Vader, and Emperor. She wants to assume command, and that's her goal. So I do also like that Han and Baron Fell start talking about old times when they were in the Imperial Academy, and they remember each other, obviously, back from back then, and how both of them ended up on the same team or the same place, but from two different worlds, two different paths. And that was interesting dialogue. Once again, Michael Stackpole, love his writing and super interesting. Winter, she comes out. I do love that she's given, I wouldn't say humongous role, but she's featured in important aspects and parts of the entire comic book series of Rogue Squadron. That was awesome. And like I said before in the beginning of my videos covering this comic book series, she doesn't do much later on in the expanded universe. She's featured, as we know. She takes care of the kids, the Solo twins, and Anakin. But here in these comics, we see her in action, and we see what she contributes to what the rebels or the New Rebellion needs to do. So that was awesome. A lot of things happen. Like I said, I'm just highlighting certain points in Star Wars X-Wing Rogue Squadron Masquerade. Do not skip it. I hope you enjoy the artwork. I find, here I go, temptation. I'm falling. It was interesting. It really is just different style. And hey, sometimes it hits, sometimes it doesn't. And it was just a little jarring sometimes, but like I said, the story's cool. The story is it flows well. The writing's amazing as always, and I love how it leads up to future events.